For centuries, the Galactic Council maintained order through fear and diplomacy. Dozens of civilizations had fallen in line, bending the knee to a system that tolerated no defiance. So when humanity began expanding beyond its solar system, building colonies and developing advanced weapons, the Council assumed it was time to send a warning. One Earth would surely obey. After all, every other species had. Why would humans be different? But they had no idea who they were dealing with. Earth didn't respond with apologies or concessions. Instead, our planet went silent, just long enough to move its fleets. What the Council expected to be a show of dominance quickly turned into a moment of shock and regret. Because when the skies above Council space lit up with thousands of human warships, one truth became painfully clear. Earth doesn't kneel. Earth shows up. The Council's quiet rule for over 2,000 years. The Galactic Council maintained order across the known galaxy. Composed of the most ancient and powerful species, they brokered peace, enforced law, and demanded obedience. Resistance was rare. Conquest wasn't necessary. Their presence alone was enough. Planets who resisted didn't last long. Entire civilizations learned that compliance meant survival. The Council expected respect, but more than that, they expected submission. Humanity's awakening. Humanity's presence in the galaxy began modestly. After the 21st century space race and technological breakthroughs in the 22nd, Earth launched its first FTL-capable ship. Colonization followed. First the Moon, then Mars, then Europa. Within a century, humanity had spread to nearby star systems. Earth united under a global pact, the Terran Accord, bringing peace to its fractured past. But what shocked the galaxy wasn't how far humans expanded, it was how fast. Curious species humans intrigued many alien observers. Unlike other species, humans didn't rely on tradition or hierarchy. They questioned everything, adapted rapidly, and treated war as an extension of problem-solving. They weren't the strongest or the smartest, but their resilience was unmatched. A species capable of rebuilding from ash, even after global wars and ecological collapse, made them unpredictable and dangerous. The first contact with the Council. The Council sent an emissary to Earth, not out of curiosity, but concern. They had seen such rapid development before, always followed by conflict. Earth was warned, slow down, submit to Council oversight, and cease expansion into restricted zones. The message was clear: compliance or consequences. Earth's reply, however, was a diplomatic thank you, followed by silence. The seeds of defiance. That silence wasn't neglect, it was planning. Humanity didn't refuse openly, nor did it comply. Instead, Earth consolidated its colonies, accelerated its fleet development, and began forming its own diplomatic alliances with independent systems disillusioned by the Council's control. The Council noticed, but still underestimated the threat. Council misjudgment. To the Council, humans were another short-lived species chasing status, a passing phase. What they failed to understand was humanity's ability to unify under pressure. Earth had once been divided by race, borders, and ideology. But now, facing an external threat, it stood as one. The Terran Accord wasn't just a document, it was a declaration. Mobilization begins in orbit around Earth. Massive shipyards lit up. Mars turned into a weapons development hub. The asteroid belt became home to I-run mining colonies feeding raw materials into the growing fleet. Within 10 years, Earth had constructed a fleet that rivaled mid-tier Council members, an achievement that took others centuries. The trigger event, a skirmish on the edge of Council space, changed everything. A Council patrol stopped a Terran science vessel in the Epsilon Theta sector, a gray zone of disputed territory. When the humans refused to leave, warning shots were fired. One human ship was destroyed and 63 lives were lost. Earth demanded an apology. The Council refused. Earth's unified response, what followed, was unprecedented. Earth's response wasn't just political, it was logistical. Dozens of fleets mobilized, every colony pledged support. Even long-distance settlements sent reinforcements. The message from Earth's high command was short: we will not be dismissed. The Council watched in disbelief as human fleets began converging toward Council space. A galaxy watch's independent systems watched closely. Many secretly hoped Earth would succeed. Some even offered quiet support, providing intelligence and safe harbors. The Council, sensing unrest, prepared its largest fleet deployment in centuries. 2,000 ships were moved to the neutral sectors. But Earth's approach wasn't reckless, it was methodical. Psychological warfare. Human fleets didn't attack outright. Instead, they arrived, parked just outside engagement range, and held position. They broadcast peaceful messages, invited talks, but made one thing clear: we are not going home. The pressure mounted. Council commanders grew restless. Their own species began questioning their leadership. Clash at Helion Verge, the standoff. Broke at the Helion Verge. A Council fleet, led by Admiral Zeros, misread human positioning as aggression. They fired. Earth's forces responded with precision. Within 6 minutes, half of Zeros's fleet was disabled. But humans didn't pursue. They offered a ceasefire again. The galaxy was stunned at the turning tide. That restraint won Earth. Allies. Several neutral species officially recognized Earth as a sovereign power. The Council, humiliated, had to explain the debacle. Meanwhile, Earth continued expanding, diplomatically and militarily. Human-built starbases appeared on fringe worlds. Human aid missions began in conflict zones, long ignored by the Council. Humanity's strategy, Earth's strategy, wasn't conquest. It was presence. Show the galaxy a new power could rise without domination, and if provoked, respond with overwhelming force. This balance earned Earth respect. Former enemies approached for partnerships. Old Council members grew silent. The power balance was shifting. The Council's vote in a secret session. The Council debated a full-scale war. But one species after another voted no, not out of fear, but practicality. War with Earth would risk total destabilization. The final vote was split. The deciding voice came from an unlikely place: the Alari, a pacifist race who warned, "You are not facing a species that follows rules. You are facing one that rewrites them." The new accord facing pressure, the Council invited Earth to negotiations. What emerged was the Unity Accord, a new interstellar charter recognizing Earth as an equal and establishing joint oversight zones. It was the first time in history the Council accepted another species into its core. Earth declined a seat, but accepted partnership. Technological exchange. The Unity Accord opened the doors to vast knowledge exchange. Humanity shared its innovations in AI, cybernetics, and medical nanotech. In return, it gained access to energy fields, gravity manipulation, and deep space terraforming. The cooperation wasn't perfect, but it was progress. The human factor. What truly changed the galaxy wasn't Earth's weapons. It was Earth's people. Human diplomats, engineers, and teachers began traveling across the galaxy. They brought curiosity, creativity, and stubborn hope. Entire planets once isolated found new energy in Terran collaboration. The Council's image, once feared, began to evolve. Reflections of power. Years later, Council historians would admit they had expected Earth to fall in line. Instead, Earth made them rethink what power meant. Not control, but influence. Not dominance, but presence. Humanity, in rising, forced the galaxy to grow. A galaxy changed forever. The Council still exists. So does Earth. But the old lines are gone. Now when new species arise, they no longer fear Council wrath. They see possibility. Because once, a stubborn blue planet looked at the galaxy and said, "No." And when the fleet showed up, They didn't come to destroy. They came to stay. Chapter 21. Council's quiet reform after Earth's rise. Internal movements within the Council demanded reform. The old model of top-down governance began to erode. New councils formed within species blocks, urging transparency, inclusivity, and direct voting. Earth didn't demand these changes, but its example made them inevitable. The generals who learned. Some of the most hardened council commanders, like Admiral Zeros, began visiting Earth, not for diplomacy, for education. Earth's war colleges opened their doors to alien officers, offering insight into human strategy, adaptability, and ethics. Many returned home transformed, not just in tactics, but in outlook. A new frontier humanity led joint missions into the unexplored expanse, a mysterious region beyond charted space. Council ships followed, no longer as overseers but partners. Together they faced new threats, forged new bonds, and discovered ancient technologies that rewrote everything. Both sides thought they knew. Cultural ripples, Terran culture swept through the stars. Music, art, literature, and even cuisine from Earth began influencing alien worlds. Not through imposition, but through fascination. A council senator was once quoted saying, "The humans didn't conquer us with lasers. They conquered us with jazz and stubborn optimism." Legacy of a monument now stands at Helion Verge, not to mark a battle, but to commemorate a decision, the moment humanity chose to stand, not kneel.